In this video, we're going to talk about how to escape the rat race and build freedom on your terms. Okay. And I figure what we can do is just start off by just identifying what the rat race really even is. Rat race is in my eyes just simply a system that society put in place to give us direction. Okay. And since we're not taught how to make decisions for ourselves, this system is just programming us to just follow in line or fall in line and follow directions. Right. I mean, think about it. We're not taught how to make decisions. Right. When we're kids, we're listening to our parents. Right. When we go to school, we're listening to our teachers and our coaches. When we go to work, we're listening to our managers and our bosses. And some men out there are really just listening to their wives. So some people will go through their entire lives without really making decisions for themselves. And that's really what the system's set up for, right? And it's easy to just really filter everybody through this system and this, you know, this direction. And that way, everybody can just, I mean, when you really think about it, it does give you the opportunity to start moving in a direction, right? But I think for the majority of us, well, for the majority of people, they don't even realize they're stuck in this trap. They just kind of assume that's just how life is, right? And everybody else is doing it. So why shouldn't they be doing it? And I believe that's where the trap really lies, is when you're doing something just because everyone else is doing it. All right, there's a great quote, or I was studying um a personal development program, and Bob Proctor once said, he said, if you ask most people why they go to work, they'll say, well, because everybody goes to work. And I mean, I truly believe that. I mean, when you really dig into why people are doing things, most people aren't even thinking. They just do it because that's what's normal, right? And, Earl Nightingale, he had a great quote on this too. He said, you know, if you see a large group of people moving in one direction and you see one or two people moving in the opposite direction, if you're not going to think, follow the one or two, because the mass of people moving in that one direction, they're being led in that one direction. Okay, those people are not thinking for themselves. They're just following what everybody else is doing. And that is the rat race. Okay? That's the trap right there. Is it feels comfortable, it feels normal, it feels, like the thing you should be doing because everybody else is doing it, but that is the trap. Okay? Now, once I've heard this, that statement from Earl Nightingale, it made me think a lot, about everything that I do in my life. I stopped comparing myself to everyone else and thinking, okay, everybody else is doing it, so shouldn't I be doing it? Like, that held me back from a lot of happiness in my life. You know what I mean? So I think it's just something to really think about. And just for example, I mean, think about your own life, right? Are you in the rat race? Right? Are you the one that, goes to college, or you went to college maybe because everybody else was doing it, right? Maybe your parents even told you that's what you should be doing right now, is you should be going to school and, educating yourself and getting a degree, and because that's the way to a fulfilling, or a successful life. But if you really look into that, there are people, kids, very young 18, 20-year olds, 18 to 20, whatever, that are getting into $100,000 worth of debt and then fighting for a job to hopefully earn $60,000 a year. Where's the sense in that? You are literally setting yourself up to be in debt for the rest of your life. And I don't believe that's just a terrible way to start your life entering the real world. And unfortunately, that's the norm. That's the direction we've been, pushed towards. And another one is just to get a job to earn money, to get a job to pay bills, to get a job just to get a job. No real thought behind it. Not like, hey, I'm going to get this job because I want to learn the systems of how to run that business so that one day I can step out and start my own business, and I'll have the understanding and the experience in that industry to use that and start my own thing. And there's an intention behind it. It's not just, let me just show up, put in my time, and collect a check. But again, that's the norm. That's what we're told to do. Another one is to go get married and have kids, right? That is, society tells us that is, the norm. That is what you do, right? When you get to a certain point, you date for X amount of time, and then the next step is to get married, have kids, and blah, blah, blah. But why is it, but I mean, the fact that, over 50% of marriages are, fail, and then of the 50 that stay married, the majority of them aren't even happy, is because there's no intention behind that marriage. There's just following in line, following what society tells us to do. Have, get married, have kids. That's the process. It's totally different if you meet someone, you sit down with them, you plan out your life together. What kind of life do you want to create, right? How many kids do you want to have? When you do have kids, are you going to homeschool them? Take control of the information that's going into that little child's mind. You know what I mean? Like, whether we like it or not, we are all being programmed. You know what I mean? And most of us are being programmed without any intention from the parents or ourselves. Really, we're just, again, just doing what everyone else is doing. But I think a lot more, marriages, and I think a lot more marriages would be successful if there was intention behind that commitment. Not just getting married to get married, but getting married because you have a clear life that you want to create together. And in that way, there's going to be setbacks in life, right? That way you have something to work towards and work through your problems, because you have a bigger goal, a bigger vision for your life together. That would allow you to work through those problems to get through it so you can, again, keep moving forward. But if you don't have a vision of the life that you want to live together and you're just looking at your current results, it's easy to say, you know what, this ain't working. I'm not in love with you anymore, blah, blah, blah. And I don't really know why I'm going into a rant on marriage, but that's just another example. And then, you think about people who are having kids too, and they have this idea, especially around starting a business, where they have this responsibility. They have to, feed their kids, and they have the wife or the husband or um, whatever, right? But there's no intention of like, hey, you know what? I want to create the best life possible for us. And that's not going to happen if I have to work 40 hours a week at a job that I hate. And I'm capped at earning X amount of money. So our lifestyle is going to stay stagnant, and we're not going to be able to go on these, maybe trips or spend enough time together to a point where we can actually develop a real connection. Most families are broken up, and the kids are getting taught by the teachers and the coaches and the people that they spend the most time with, really, you know? But I think when it comes down to starting your own business, please accept the fact that especially if you have kids, right? If you have kids, you have the ability to inspire your kid to look for alternatives, right? Don't enter into this rat race, okay? Allow them to understand that they have a choice. And that's going to lead us into um, the only two things that you really need in order to escape the rat race, which is first is acknowledging that you are in the rat race, having that realization that, oh my God, I'm doing things that I don't even want to do. I hate this job. I'm stuck in traffic every day. I wake up to an alarm clock that I want to throw off the wall. I'm coming home angry every day. I'm drained. I'm not able to take care of my body. I'm not able to spend time with the kids or my wife or whatever it is. Like everything just falls apart because of that one thing, right? So acknowledging that you are in the rat race is step one, right? And then step two is making the choice to change and to do something different. Now, again, that doesn't mean you have to go extreme, quit your job right away, and put you and your family at in a financial pitfall, right? You don't have to do that. It's just making the decision that you're going to do something about it, and all that means is allocating your time to figuring out what you could do. All right, you might not have any ideas right now, but the more time that you spend trying to figure out what you could do, the more ideas are going to start flowing, the more you'll be able to, go to YouTube and search out some different ideas. And, that's the game you got to play. You just identify that you're in the rat race, make the decision that you're going to change and you're going to escape, right? You're going to stop following what everybody else is doing and make a decision to create the life that you want to live. We all have that freedom to decide whatever we want to do. Okay. And you're going to have your limiting beliefs that come up. You don't have the time, you don't have the money, you don't have the resources, you don't have the blah, blah, blah. You make too much money at your job to walk away. All of these things. And they're valid at this moment. Okay. Those are valid excuses. But that's going to keep you stuck. It's going to keep you right where you are. Nothing's ever going to change. So that's a pill you're going to have to swallow if you decide not to do anything. But if you do decide that you want to make a change, again, all this comes down to is just the intention of finding an idea that is inspiring to you so you can actually step out of your comfort zone and take action. This all comes down to inspiration because you need a reason to change. Nobody just changes for the hell of it. I mean, you think about how many people want to quit drinking, quit smoking, quit all these different things, but they don't have a reason to do so, right? Like, I mean, you need to understand why you're doing something. And once you find that business idea that's just like so inspiring to you, you barely sleep at night, you're up all night kind of researching and writing out, business plans and figuring out what you could be doing to get started. That's when everything changes. That's when you really the focus is totally shifted and now you start doing things that you haven't done in before in the past. And you know, that's what it's all about. That's like being stuck in traffic and just deciding, you know what? I'm going to go find a different way. I'm going to take this next exit and I'm just going to figure it out. It might take you longer to get home that first time, but you're going to find a different route. right? It's going to be a little bit of an adventure. You know what I mean? You might be swearing halfway through saying, "Why the hell did I even do this?" But when you get home and you figured out, "Okay, you know what? I found a different route. I don't have to go that way anymore. I can change it up. I can now maybe sleep in." You know what I mean? I'm just kind of going off on a little tangent here on a little bit of a metaphor, but you see what I'm saying? Like, you're thinking different. That's the key. Break out of that fog that most people are in, where they're just zombies and they're just waking up and just doing the same thing over and over and over again, to a point where what? You wake up 40 years from now, you have a pension and an annuity, you have no life experience, you have no memories. You know what I mean? Like, that's a huge regret. Um, you know, especially when you look back and you realize that you could have changed at any point. And I'm super like, that's I'll risk. I mean, again, I'm a single guy, no responsibilities. I risk everything I have multiple times so far, right? And I believe, again, this is just my opinion. I believe if I had kids and a wife and I had a family unit, I would be even more inspired to be starting my own businesses and making sure that I'm earning X amount of money and making sure that I'm spending time with them and all of these different things, right? To make sure that we're all having the best time ever, and these kids are getting taught the right values and the right way of doing things, the right way of looking at life and this world that we live in. Because otherwise, somebody else is feeding that to them, right? And then, I could go on for forever on that, but at the end of the day, again, in order to escape the rat race, just realize that you're in it, and then second, to make the decision that you're gonna make a change. All right? And I wanna help you with this the first steps to make the change, which is, first, you wanna identify that business idea, and then we can start planning out your action steps so that you can start your own business. All right? I mean, it's as simple as it can get right there. I don't want to even get into any of the other steps. It's just, let's find that business idea. All right. Now, in this, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to let me see here. I got the wheel of names up. We're going to spin the wheel and we're going to see business idea comes up. All right. Well, so before I get into this, what I want you to do again is just to identify some hobbies and some interests that you have. And then that way we can start figuring out some business ideas around those hobbies and interests. Because the best business for you to start is something that you'd actually enjoy, something that you actually have somewhat of a passion for. Because if you just start a business just for the money might motivate you at first, but at least for me, it fizzled out. When it became very transactional and all it was about the money, it it wasn't fulfilling for me. Again, a lot of young kids like seeing the money aspect of it, like the idea of just having, cars and whatever, which money is not a bad thing. Money's not the thing, it's money's a big part of business, okay? And when you realize that business is just a service that you provide to people, that's all business is providing a service, okay? It doesn't matter what that service is, but the service that you provide is going to earn you X amount of money. And when you're intentional about the service that you provide based off of, something that you're interested in, something that you research on a daily basis anyways, something something about and you're interested in learning more about, then you can provide better service and better experience and then you'll get paid more, okay? But at the end of the day, what the first step is just to find some hobbies and some interests that you have. Okay. I made this little quick cheat sheet of 100 hobbies that could make you 100 grand. And you can just go through it and circle the ones that you're interested in. And then that's the starting point. Okay. That's just how we're going to start this brainstorming session. Okay. And if you want this, you can just comment below hobbies and I'll send you over this list. But I uploaded that list into the wheel of names. And all we're going to do is we're going to spin the wheel, find out a hobby, and then we'll go through the brainstorming session that I usually go through to help people figure out a business idea that's in alignment with their hobbies and interests. Okay. And yeah, so we'll just start right now. So we'll spin this, and we are going to end up on crypto trading investment. Okay, something that I have absolutely no interest in, but we're going to do it anyways. All right. So what we do with this is we come in here and I'll go to the 100 hobbies. So what you do, and I've been doing this, what you do is just grab a simple prompt like this. So please give me a list of 10 business ideas based on the hobby of, let's say, crypto. Crypto, what was it? Crypto investing? Crypto trading and investing. Crypto trading and investing. So this is just a very simple prompt that you can put into ChatGPT and allow yourself to start the brainstorming process. All right, you do this on your own. If you want my help, feel free to reach out. So please give me a list of 10 business ideas based on the hobby of crypto trading. Let me break that up. Crypto trading and investing that would earn at least 100 grand a year. Again, when you're doing this, right, especially thinking out business ideas, try to identify a business idea that will allow you to replace your current income. So if you're making 100 grand a year, then start with that. All right. Would earn at least 100 grand a year. If you're making 200 grand a year, do that. All right. The idea is to make sure that we identify a business idea that is going to allow you to replace your current income and allow you to continue to live the lifestyle that you're living, right? And also do something that you enjoy doing. Okay. We don't have to get crazy. You might have this ambitious idea of earning $1 million a year, which is great. But just to start the brainstorming process, let's just start with a number that is going to replace your income. Okay. Because then you can start building that vision of, okay, this is what I could do to replace what I'm doing right now. And just understand that any business that you start has the potential of scaling. All right. And but you don't have to figure out the scaling right now. Let's just figure out an idea that makes sense to you and is around a hobby that you have. So you just fire through that prompt, and then it's going to give you examples of business ideas in that space. So it says crypto education course and coaching program. Teach beginners how to trade safely, use exchanges, and manage risk. All right. This is when you just, become a course creator, right? $500 course, 200 students, 100 grand a year. Okay. Simple math. Again, ChatGPT is great about just breaking things down, giving examples. So, that course could be $1,000. There are people that have courses for $10,000. So it doesn't, just use that as kind of a baseline, and, with the understanding that you can scale it to however you want. But these are great examples, right? Crypto newsletter or membership. So you can share market insights, altcoin breakdowns, and project research. You can have a YouTube channel and a content brand. You could do crypto affiliate marketing, crypto portfolio management and consulting, automated trading bots signal service. You can do crypto tax and accounting services, NFT Web3 consulting services. Okay, so yeah, I think you get the idea. It's going to give you ideas here. All right. And if you don't see anything that you like, ask it for more. You could ask it for another 10, another 20, 100, whatever you want to do. Maybe you just figure out, okay, this isn't a hobby I really want to pursue. So you can just do it with another hobby. Just brainstorm. Just give yourself the opportunity to get inspired. So, and then ChatGPT is great because it even gives you like a fastest path to 100 grand, education plus content plus affiliate combo. So start your YouTube channel or newsletter teaching crypto basics, add affiliate links to exchanges and wallets, launch a paid course membership for deeper training. I mean, it's pretty solid. So if you're into crypto, boom, this could be a path that you could pursue, right? So now let's just grab one of these. Maybe we'll do a crypto. I mean, that's pretty solid right here. Help busy investors allocate assets, manage wallets, and rebalance portfolios. 2,500 a month retainers times 4 clients, 120 grand a year. Must follow legal compliance. I don't really want to get into legal stuff right now. So what if we just did? I mean, I think education and courses. Um, I think coaching programs in general, across the board, are the best businesses possible. Just because only if there is a high emphasis on accountability. Okay, to have a course and just tell people what to do and have a structured system that one size it's like a one size fits all deal and just giving it to people. I don't think that's responsible. I don't think that is valuable, to be honest. Okay, but I think coaching in general, just because if you have a process or if you can guide people through a process and just understand like everybody's different and allow that ability for that one-on-one coaching aspect and the ability to hold people accountable, allow your clients to tell you what they're willing to do, because at the end of the day it all just comes down to action, right? I don't know why I need to get into so much detail here, but we're just going to take this, all right? Let's just say you wanted to do a crypto education course or coaching program, okay? So then all you have to do is just go back into ChatGPT, right? And just ask it a follow-up question, which could be, what are the steps? So we'll come in here and just say, what are the steps to start a crypto education course and coaching program business? Okay, so you just ask ChatGPT this question, and it gives you the step-by-step guide on how you can start. All right, so you identify your niche and target market, beginners, investors, trader focus, business focus, validate the offer, define your core offer. So whether it's one-on-one, group coaching, self-paced, map out the curriculum, right? Obviously, if you have a passion for crypto, you understand how it works, you can help, you can basically come up with your own process, your own system on trading and investing in this, right? And that's your offer is really your system. Choose your delivery of the platform, choose your delivery platform. So whether it's courses, coaching, community, build your sales funnel, grow your audience, just and then price and sell. So this is when, again, what we're trying to get to is just find a business idea. And then that way we can really start dissecting how you can go about earning the amount of money that you want to earn. Okay. And this is a great example of how to just start brainstorming how you could earn, the 100 grand a year, right? Like if you had a starter course for, $500, what was that? 50 course sales at 500 is 25,000. 25 group students at 2 grand is 50 grand. 10 private clients at 2,500 is 25. So total 100 grand. So again, that's just a very basic understanding of how you could, you know, use your passion, your hobby, your interest in crypto and turn it into a business. Okay. So that's what you want to do is just ask ChatGPT. And this is just to get the wheels turning. All right. What you want to do also is just go to YouTube and ask the same question. So I'll take that and I'll go into YouTube. Oh, I'm in studio. So we'll go to YouTube. We'll come in here and we'll ask it. Okay. Start with 100 bucks, how to invest in crypto as a complete beginner. So now you can start seeing what kind of information is out there for people starting to invest in crypto, right? And you could be making videos just like this to grow your brand and your awareness. You could do live streams like this, trading crypto stocks or crypto. I don't know anything about crypto, so but you could do stuff like that. But you want to start researching on YouTube as well and start figuring out, what comes up. I think that question might have been a little bit broad, so you can just do like crypto education business. Something like that. The good thing is it's just, it's a search engine, so you just put in kind of the keywords and it will find some information. So yeah, you just start researching here and just see what's out there. Really all you're really looking to do is how to start a coaching business, right? But yeah. So let me get out of this. Let me stop sharing. Okay. So at the end of the day, if you want to get out of the rat race, you just want to identify the fact that you're in the rat race and then make your decision to escape. And all that means is that you're willing to start brainstorming ideas on how to get out. How are you going to break out of this? What could you do? What could you learn? What skill could you learn so that you can break out? Like that's what it really comes down to. You either figure out something that you already have like experience in, a skill in, you know what I mean? Something that you're good at, or you can decide to just go learn something, right? Like when I got into real estate, I had to go learn about real estate. I had to go understand how that whole world worked. And I became obsessed with it. I took in all the information I possibly could. Again, listening to podcasts, going to seminars, uh, buying courses, everything I could possibly get my hands on, to a point where I had confidence I could take the first steps. And then when I did take the first steps, I started getting results. Those results led to me starting my business. Right? Like that's how it works. But it all started with that first idea. That idea of starting my own business flipping houses. And for some people, they might be like, well, maybe flipping houses is for me." Again, this is something that resonated with me. Okay, it wasn't just a business I picked because of the earning potential, which that was a big factor of it, but I also had a experience in construction. So I actually had the ability to go into a house and visualize what it could look like after being renovated. And I can articulate that to the seller, help them understand what is actually wrong with the house, give them estimates on what that would actually cost to fix. I had that experience and that translated very well into the real estate business. And I just had a I had a passion for real estate. I love the idea of buying rental properties, multifamily, apartments, and having that as the investment vehicle. I have no interest in stocks. I have no interest in crypto. I have no interest in gold and silver and all this kind of stuff. I like real estate because it's just something that is tangible. I can go to the property. I can, it's physical, right? It's there. You need to fix something, you can fix it, right? And that's the beauty of real estate is like anything can be fixed. It can all be fixed. Even if the damn thing burns up, you can just fix it, right? There's still an opportunity to fix it. I don't know anything about again stocks or anything like that, so I don't see um, I don't see the interest. I don't know. There's nothing. It's just finding out what resonates with you. All right, and that's what I'm trying to get at is making sure that we're choosing a business idea that's right for you. That's all that matters. When you find that idea, everything changes. Okay, that's it for tonight. Hope you have a good one. Take care.